Hey folks, okay, in this video I'm going to give you my Stanley Cup predictions and where I think everybody's going to finish at the same time as we go along. Coming up. All right. And once again folks, just my predictions. You'll probably disagree with half of them, but it's all for fun, right? So let's take a look at it. I'm going to start first with the North Division. And I got it finishing Toronto. I picked Toronto right from the start this year to take first place. And who I'm picking to win the division right from the start, I'm still keeping my same pick. Toronto, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Montreal. I think it will finish out like this. I do. I do think Vancouver's going to flip with Calgary. I think Montreal fans should be worried about Vancouver, not Calgary, but this city for some reason is only keeping an eye on Calgary when they really should be keeping an eye on Vancouver, because Vancouver's more closer to 500 than Calgary is, just saying. And Ottawa taking last, but Ottawa very impressive. They've been very, very impressive. They've had a very impressive season for a last place team, folks. They have. I've watched that division pretty close this year, and Ottawa has impressed many times. Many times. Tequila, stay over there. My dog's right here. Come here. Say hi. She says hi. Okay, stay over there. Okay, stay. All right, so we got Montreal and Toronto, which is going to be fun to see. I haven't seen these guys in a series. I think it's in 76, if I'm right, or 77. I think 70. It might be 77. I forget. It's one of those years. It hasn't been since the 70s. So you got Toronto is going to be, Montreal, actually, I put Toronto at the bottom because they'll have the home ice. So you got Montreal and Toronto, and you got Winnipeg and Edmonton. All right. So we'll leave that there like that for now. And I will go with, I'm going to go, I got Leafs in 7 in this series. I think Montreal's going to put up a fight regardless how bad they're playing. Montreal's much more of a physical team than Toronto. And if anybody can upset Toronto as a fourth place team, Montreal could. They could. And Winnipeg and Edmonton. I think it's going to be wild in the, what do you call it? The North Division in the playoffs. And this one, I'm going to go also, I got Oilers in 7 in this one. I just think that the Oilers finally are they're in the right push right now. So then we take out Montreal and we take out Winnipeg. Now we got Toronto in Edmonton, and I got winning the North Division. Oilers in 6. I got Edmonton winning the North Division. So I got Edmonton coming through the division there. And they pretty much have been my pick from day one to win the Canadian/North Division. I've got them winning this division this year. I just think that I don't find, honestly, nothing against Toronto. I just find their regular season built and not playoff built, but we'll see. They're just not a very physical team, folks. And in the playoffs, we all know you got to turn it up a notch physically to win the Stanley Cup. And I don't think Toronto has it in them. I just don't. And I think there's too many older guys on the team, and they're going to burn out physically. Just my call. All right, now, our favorite division for Sabre fans of all time, the East Division. And I'm not going to use those lame names that they use. I just go Northeast, I'm just going by the location. Okay, so in the East Division, I got the Islanders overtaking Washington. Washington right now is in first, but I got the Islanders finishing first. I got the Capitals second. I got the Bruins making a push over the Penguins for third, and I got the Penguins in fourth. Then I got, closing it out, I got the Rangers, the Flyers, the Sabres, and the Devils. And people say, oh, you got the Sabres in front of the Devils. I'm a Sabres fan. Come on. Of course. Although after last night's game, it's kind of a dumb call. I think the Devils showed a few signs yesterday of something coming back in that game like that. But I'm a Sabres fan, so that's why I'm picking them 7th, just for the record. All right, so we got, in this one, we got the Penguins and the Islanders have the home ice, and the Bruins and the Capitals have home ice in this one. All right, so in the Penguins and Islanders series, I got the Islanders in 5. I think they're going to make quick work of Pittsburgh. I really do. And to be honest, folks, I think this is the end of the Crosby era. I think their last Stanley Cup might have been their last moment, even winning a series together, these guys. You know, and look, all good things come to an end. My gut feeling is that the Penguins have pretty much had it. Yesterday kind of really provoked this thinking in my head. Like, to watch them be in a game up 6-0 or whatever it was, you know, like, it was just crazy that they you know, they were winning, what, 6-0, right, in this game? And there they are hanging on to win 7-6 against Jersey. I mean, I don't know. Something's up with the Penguins, folks. It just is. But I think the Islanders are more structured. The Islanders just play a better game overall. And I think they made the right acquisitions at the deadline also. I think they're ready to make a push, the Islanders. All right, Bruins at Capitals. And in this series, I got the Bruins in 6. I honestly think the Capitals also are kind of like the Penguins. Age has caught up to them. And as good as they do, you know, like, these are 4 good teams still, you know what I mean? But only 2 of the 4 can win, so I got to go with who I think is going to win. And I just think the Bruins will be too much for them. And Bruins just know how to fight hard in the trenches, I find, still, you know, they still have that. Even without Chara, they still have it. So I think the Capitals are going to take a step back again in the playoffs. I do, you know. But hey, look, they still got a cup. You know, it's not so bad, right? If that does happen. All right, so now I got the Bruins at Islanders. And we'll push these guys aside. The Bruins at Islanders. And in this series, I got the Islanders in 6. I just can't see. I just really can't see any. I honestly, at this point, I really just can't see anybody but the Islanders winning this division. Really, and they were my pick from day one in this. I honestly thought it would come down to the Islanders and Flyers early in the season, and my pick was still kind of the Islanders. I would have picked the Flyers. I picked the Flyers for first this year, and look at this, way down here. So, what do I know? You know, there's no way to know. Okay, so the Oilers move on. The Islanders move on. Let's flip it. We'll come back to them. And we'll look at the Central. In the Central, I do have Carolina finishing first. They're 20 games over. They look good. They were actually a team I was really looking at. I thought that was going to win the Stanley Cup. My pick last year to win the Cup was Tampa. And people say, why Tampa? When they lost 4 straight, from that point on, I believed it was their time. After they had that upset against Columbus, I just had that thing in my head that stuck there saying, now they got the summer off. They're angry as hell, but they can rest and really get ready for next year, you know? But little did I know this thing called COVID was going to come in and mess up everything. But they still wound up winning the Cup. All right, but everybody was rested and they still won the Cup. So that says a lot about Tampa last year. All right, so I got Carolina taking first. I got Tampa taking second. I think right now Florida's in front of them, right, by a point or something. But I still think Tampa's going to make a push, finish second. Florida third. I do have Dallas overtaking Nashville. I just can't see Nashville. Dallas went to the finals last year, so I figured Dallas is going to. They're making a push right now as we're speaking. And Nashville's going to come up just short. Nashville, credit to them. I wrote them off this year. You seen earlier in the year, I said they could be the next team that winds up like Buffalo. I was dead wrong about that so far. We'll see next year. But Nashville, what an impressive push they did. So if Nashville get in, they would be fun to watch. They would be. Nashville, Chicago, Cinderella story's over. They're done, I'm pretty sure. I can't see the Blackhawks doing anything. And I think Detroit will finish in front of Columbus. Columbus just seems like the only team in the league playing as bad as we were in that losing streak. I mean, they're just, they know Tortorella's gone. And right now, these guys just don't want to get injured for the rest of the year, and they want to have their summer, Okay, so that means we got Dallas at Carolina and Florida at Tampa, which will be a real fun series, guys. Florida and Tampa will be, that'll be fun. That'll be fun to see. All right, so Dallas at Carolina. I'm going to call Dallas make a fight but lose. I got Carolina in 7. I'm going to say Dallas make a fight. I'm going to say Dallas the rest of the year are going to show that character that got them to the finals. They're going to make a push, get in, and make a real hell of a fight. But this Carolina team just seems like a team possessed right now, and a team that's going to not collapse like they did in the previous playoffs that's just happened. Because when they collapsed, it wasn't to Boston, right? I didn't see that coming. I honestly thought Carolina was just going to, I wasn't sure, but I thought Carolina could win the cup. I really did. But Tampa wound up getting it. All right, Florida at Tampa. I'm going to go Tampa in 6 in that one. And no disrespect to Florida. Could this be an upset? Sure. When Vasilevsky's just such an awesome goalie. And I just really think Tampa's going to show up to defend their crown, So, all right. So now we got Tampa at Carolina. I'll push these guys aside. And in this one, I'm going to go Tampa in 6. I think Tampa is really going to defend their title as strong as they can this year. So I got Tampa in 6 winning this, and Tampa moves on. But I would not be surprised if Carolina beats them also. You know what I mean? This Carolina team is really, really good. But I just think Tampa has so much hurt from some of those chokes that they had over the years. They're due for something like this not to happen to them, So anyway, I got Tampa in 6. I think I'll put it there like the other one, Tampa in 6. So Tampa moves on. Now, in the West, I got Vegas finishing first over Colorado. I think they will. And they're right. This is the position they're in right now. It's Vegas, Colorado, Minnesota, St. Louis. I'm picking are going to catch Arizona. I just can't see Arizona holding off St. Louis, even though St. Louis has O'Reilly as captain. I don't consider O'Reilly much of a captain, but that's just me. Anyway, so we got these 4 here getting in, and the Blues, of course, with their Stanley Cup. There's too many guys with a ring. I just can't see them not getting in. So then you got Arizona. I think will just fade away on their own. I don't even think, and nothing against them. They've had a hell of a good year. Geez, a very impressive year. LA will make maybe a little bit of a push, but I think LA is going to finish right there. And then you got San Jose and Anaheim, both teams in their rebuild phases. So let's look at it. All right, so we got St. Louis at Vegas and Minnesota at Colorado. All right, so St. Louis at Vegas, I got Vegas in 5. I think Vegas will make quick work of them. Vegas remind me a lot of the Sabres in the 70s, you want the truth. They're that young franchise, that organization that has not been in the league very long, but they're ready to win a Stanley Cup. They are. This team's ready. So Vegas I got in 5. Unless, and I'm going to put this out there, and I don't care you Leonard fans, because I think Leonard's overrated, slow. I was so thrilled when Buffalo just let that guy go, wasting a first round on this guy. If they don't use Fleury and nets, forget it. I'll put it right out there. Forget it. If they're going to go with Leonard, who can be as slow as cold molasses sometimes with his reflexes. I know his big body can stop pucks, but my God, for a big guy, he's not very quick. So they better stick with Fleury and nets if they're going to do anything. And Minnesota at Colorado. There it is, folks. Yep. You heard it here first. Minnesota in 6. I think Colorado, as crazy as it sounds, are not very built for the playoffs. I just don't think they are. And I know everybody's picking them to win the cup. No. I'll have to see it with my own eyes to believe it. I will. They're dead last in the league in hits. They're not a very physical team. They're a finesse team. And a team like Minnesota, with their veterans, could make life hell for them. And another thing, McKinnon's never gotten out of the second round in 8 years in his career. It's time we start talking about this. If they lose the first round this year, we're going to have to look at Colorado, okay? The same way we look at the Leafs in the East Conference of playoff failure, we're going to have to look at Colorado the same way. We're going to have to look at it. We're not there yet. I'm picking Minnesota in the biggest upset of the playoffs to take out Colorado in 6 games in this series because Minnesota is due to win a playoff series. And the last time Colorado, you might remember, McKinnon's rookie year, he looked amazing, and then they ran into Minnesota. I was so upset because I was pulling for Colorado in that series. It went to Game 7 in overtime, and Minnesota beat them. I think Minnesota have the type of team that can upset Colorado, and it's just my gut feel. I think they're going to upset them in the playoffs. So I'm taking Colorado out. I'm taking St. Louis out. And here we go. Minnesota at Vegas. I got Vegas in 6, beating Minnesota. Vegas move on. And there we go. We're down to our final 4. Now, these are number 1, 2, the number 3 seed. Let me get them. The number 3 seed would be the Islanders, and number 4 seed would be Edmonton, okay? So, let's get all this aside. We got our top 4, which would be Vegas, Tampa, number 3 would be the Islanders, and Edmonton. So let me just clear this, make some room, and we'll just discuss this in a sec. Give me a sec here, it won't take long. Okay. And that's the way that works. All right, so the top 4 seeds will be Vegas, Tampa, the Islanders, Edmonton. So that means Edmonton will face Vegas in the semifinals, and the Islanders will face Let's put it over here. Islanders and Tampa, Vegas, and Edmonton. There we go. That's who I got in our final four, okay? So, let me just get rid of some of this so it doesn't distract me. Stuff like this just drives me nuts, folks. So give me a second here. All right. All right, so let's put it like this. All right, so they're number 4. Just so you guys know how the playoffs do work this year is this way. In case there was any confusion. Okay, so in this series, I do have to say, I have to be logical. I got Vegas in 6. Edmonton's Cinderella story ends there. Connor McDavid gets to his first Final Four of his career. And Vegas move on to the finals. And Edmonton can be really proud of himself because they have been long overdue for some success in Edmonton. They have. And the Islanders and Tampa. All right. And this one, I'm going to go with a bit of a stunner. I'm going to go with the Islanders upsetting the defending Stanley Cup champions in 6 games. And this one. So I got the Islanders and Vegas in the finals. And that one's a little tough to call, but I'm just going with the gut feeling because they are so damn structured in New York. That eventually is going to pay off. I just believe it will. They've been too good for something not to, no deep run for the Islanders not to happen eventually. Okay. And Stanley Cup champions, I'm going Vegas in 5. They were my pick before the year, folks, and they still are. I got Vegas winning the Stanley Cup this year. I just think they have the type of team that's not only built to win a Stanley Cup, I think they're due. Now, I think they're due after last year's. They kind of collapsed last year, kind of, you know, with Dallas. You know, they kind of blew it. And I think if Vegas just get to the Final Four, they're going to win the Stanley Cup. That's just how I feel about Vegas. Vegas, you got to get them early. If you're going to get these boys out of the way, you better get them early. Because the deeper this team goes, they're going to be harder to beat. And if you would have told me 4 or 5 years ago, I'd be saying this. I would say you're crazy, but it's where it is where it's at. I just believe that this team can win the Stanley Cup. And that's kind of where I stand with that. So you guys let me know your picks. And before the playoffs, this might change. You know, I'm going to do another one right when it's like right before the playoffs start. We'll do one more. But this is where I'm at today with it, what I feel today. So that's it. I don't want to go any further. I didn't want to keep this video short as possible. Hope you guys had fun with this. And let me know who your picks are. It should be a very interesting playoff this year. You know, sadly, we're in the COVID world again, so there's no momentum swings with crowds or anything like we wish, right? But, you know, it should be a good playoff with the parity in the league. And that's the thing. There's so much parity in the league. Somebody I picked that lost the first round might go on to win the Stanley Cup this year, right? It's just the way it is. So, all right, folks, you let me know what you think, who your picks are. And we'll discuss it, and we'll look at it one more time before the playoffs open in a few weeks' time. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all later. Have a good one.